Hey there, I'm Sarah McLaughlin. Thanks for joining me on the Chaos to Calm podcast, a podcast designed for women over 40 who think that changing hormones might be messing with their mood, metabolism, and energy, and want to change that in a healthy, sustainable, and permanent way. Each episode will explore topics related to health and wellness for women in their 40s, like what the heck is happening to your hormones, what to do about it with nutrition, lifestyle, and stress management, and inspiring conversations with guests sharing their insights and tips on how to live your best life in your 40s and beyond. So if you're feeling like you're in the midst of a hormonal storm and don't want perimenopause to be horrific, then join me on Chaos to Calm as I share with you how to make it to menopause without it wrecking your relationships and life. Hi, and welcome to the Chaos to Calm podcast, where we discuss how to master the chaos of changing hormones, mood, metabolism, and energy in your 40s. I'm Sarah, the Perimenopause Naturopath, your host, welcoming you to episode number 16. Ta-da! Today we're going to be talking all about alcohol intolerance. Have you been wondering what the heck is happening, that you maybe have one glass of wine these days and next minute you are waking up feeling like actually you might have drunk a whole bottle of wine when you know you haven't, but yeah, that's how you're feeling. Then that, my friends, is probably alcohol intolerance contributing there, and that would be part of your perimenopause journey. So let's get into it. We are going to talk all about the why and when and how it all happens, and of course practical tips to help you support and nourish your body and make informed choices about what you're doing. I don't want to encourage you to drink alcohol. Ultimately, it is a toxin. I know. I always feel like I'm a like the Death Eaters from Harry Potter when I'm talking about something like this. Like I'm coming in and everything turns all black and dark, and then it's like the joy gets sucked out of the room. I hope that it doesn't feel like that. I do feel a bit like that. Or the Grinch, I'm telling you to cut all the stuff, but look, honestly, your body is probably telling you that it's not enjoying it and it's time to rethink your drink. And I'm here to explain to you why your body is telling you that, because it is really common. We actually, with mummy wine culture and our alcohol culture in Australia particularly, you're always encouraged to wind down. Oh, you've deserved it. You've worked hard. You've had a hard week, or oh, you've had a hard day, or you're feeling irritated, agitated, crappy because perimenopause or whatever. I don't know. It's such a common narrative there that you have a drink and make it go away. So yes, alcohol does tend to relax you, and of course we are less inhibited the more that we have. And the first two drinks will give you a dopamine hit, dopamine being your mojo and motivation neurotransmitter or brain compound. It makes you feel good. It's your pleasure-seeking compound. So yeah, you get a couple of drinks, couple of hits of dopamine, you feel a bit better. It's true. After that, though, you're just getting drunk. You're actually not getting any dopamine hits. So it's not really doing anything for you there except overloading your liver and your body and messing with your hormones. So it's interesting that that's how we deal with things. We try and suppress and avoid feeling emotions or processing what has happened, or it's really about trying to escape life. So I really encourage you to build a life that you don't need to escape from. Sure, have a drink if you want to have a drink. Like I said, those first two, you're going to get a dopamine hit. But have a drink because you like the taste of it, or, you enjoy it as part of your meal. Using it to unwind or, suppress how we're feeling, and that isn't, it's what we're conditioned to do and encouraged to do, but actually it's not the best for us in terms of our mental and overall health in the long term. Anyway, I'll hop down off my soapbox now. Let's get into why, or, what you might feel. So alcohol, when you're drinking alcohol and your body's not tolerating it, you might experience some symptoms like hot flushes, palpitations, anxiety, low mood, particularly after you finish drinking, but even sometimes, while you're drinking, increased anger, irritability, frustration, tummy upset, diarrhea, headaches during the drinking session, but especially afterwards as well, and weight gain around the middle. Now, you might get some of these or the whole kit and caboodle, but don't they have a lot in common with perimenopause symptoms? In fact, a lot of them, you could explain them away as perimenopause symptoms. So I'm asking you, I'm wondering, very curious here, could it be perhaps your drinks making you have those symptoms rather than perimenopause making those symptoms? If you already have those perimenopause symptoms, you will find that alcohol will probably highly likely to make it worse for you. And that flush, particularly the alcohol intolerance, is you'll go red when you're drinking, red on the cheeks, red on your face, and that kind of thing there as well. Feel that overall heat in your body. So what's going on? What is happening that we're no longer able to drink as much as you used to? Which maybe is not such a bad thing anyway. So there's a few primary mechanisms at work that we'll talk about here today. Your liver, your blood glucose levels, and histamine. So with the liver, alcohol is a priority for the liver to detoxify because it is a toxin, as I said, and it will put alcohol to the top of the queue ahead of other stuff like hormone metabolism and nutrient metabolism and detoxification. So as a result, when you're drinking alcohol, you'll have fewer nutrients to access and use, and that metabolism of alcohol is nutrient dense. It takes a lot, and it can throw off the balance of your hormones like cortisol, testosterone, estrogen, and others there as well. So when your liver is busy processing alcohol, it's not working on your hormones and metabolizing your hormones. Now, I did do an episode on estrogen earlier on, and it's estrogen that takes the hit there, or can increase in your blood because it's not being removed when it needs to. When it's high and too high, it makes mischief. And think of, estrogen is stimulating. It can make us more agitated, irritated, all of those things when it's too high. So alcohol and your blood glucose levels, insulin, alcohol is treated like a sugar, regardless of what you're drinking or what you mix it with. You're not having Bacardi and Coke, that's fine. But, tonic's full of sugar with the gin and tonic lovers. Even a vodka soda, your body treats it like sugar. So it does impact your blood glucose levels and therefore your insulin levels, and can lead to more body fat, particularly abdominal fat storage. If you drink beer, well, you look at older men that drink a lot of beer, they all have that beer gut. It's carb, that's alcohol belly. It's treated like a carbohydrate, like glucose, and stacks on around the middle there. So, if it's spiking your blood sugar levels and insulin's going up, then it also comes crashing down, right? And so you can get those mood swings associated with it. You get that low energy that comes with too high or too low blood glucose levels, and like I said, fat storage, and just feeling pretty off and crappy. So remember that it can feed into your perimenopause symptoms as well, and estrogen fluctuations can impact your insulin sensitivity and your blood sugar levels as well. So it really can put you on that roller coaster ride of how you're feeling in terms of your mood and energy. Let's have a talk about histamine while we're here, because this is a big player. In alcohol intolerance, and also in food sensitivities and intolerances in perimenopause as well. It's a really common, sometimes overlooked cause of your alcohol intolerance there, because histamine's a neurotransmitter. It's also an immune compound in our body. It's essential. Like, it's important for your nervous system function, immunity, inflammation. But we want it, like Goldilocks' porridge, just right. We don't want too much. We don't want too little, just right. Because it is excitatory, which means it amps up activity, increases activity. Some of the things that histamine does in the body is it helps with blood vessel dilation and flushing, bringing blood to the area for healing. Like if you sprain your ankle, you want blood to the area to help, with the repair and bring the immune cells there to repair it and the nutrients to rebuild the tissue. Runny nose, itchy eyes, itchy skin, hives, puffy face and swelling, and even like fingers, toes, feet, all of that sort of stuff as well. Headache, diarrhea, upset tummy. It can be an irritating thing, that histamine. So you don't want too much of it in your body. Now, what does that have to do with alcohol? Well, when you drink alcohol, it increases the release of histamine in your body. You know what else increases the release of histamine in your body? Is estrogen. So I want you to think about histamine and how your body can cope with that, like a bucket. So you have a bucket of histamine or potential histamine capacity in the day. It has a little hole letting out some of histamine, and that represents like what your body can metabolize or process, and that's sort of emptying it out as you're putting stuff into it. So there are many things that contribute to higher histamine levels, and so they could be allergies and intolerances, hay fever, things like that. And especially if your allergies or intolerances aren't identified and not managed well, they will add to your histamine load there. A bacterial overgrowth in your gastrointestinal system, in your intestines, like either in your small intestine or in your large intestine, that can increase your histamine levels. And that can often happen in perimenopause as well, as the muscles around your intestines are less strong and moving food through at different rates, and you less digestive power, then bacteria can overgrow or become imbalanced there. Any fermented food like cheeses, sauerkraut, kombucha, yogurt, kefir, wine, spirits, all of those things, they all contain histamine. And other foods can trigger histamine release in your body. Things like MSG, glutamates, lectins, additives and preservatives in food. Stress is inflammatory. It can increase histamine release. And genetics. So your genetics can impact how quickly you can clear histamine. So think of that hole in the bucket. Your genetics will decide whether, how quickly your liver can metabolize, or the capacity for your liver to metabolize that histamine. There's also things that can block the enzyme that helps process histamine. So things like tea, cola, energy drinks, some medications can interfere with that as well. So if you might have a couple of those factors in place, and alcohol is just really filling up the bucket along with those things quicker than what your body can empty it or metabolize it out. So it kind of overflows and floods your system with too much histamine. And that's when you can feel like that heat, that flushing, that nausea, and it's urgency to go to the toilet and use your bowels, and particularly itchy. I have some clients who'll be like, yeah, when I have this food or I drink this thing, I get these itchy eyes, get swelling on my eyelids, and that tell me all the classic signs of the high histamine. Now, I mentioned before as well that estrogen is something that can increase histamine as well. So when estrogen is high, and think in early perimenopause, we know it roller coasters, it goes higher than high and lower than low all over the shop. But when it's high, you might tolerate wine less than what you would some other time when it's lower. So I guess what the sequelae there, or the other side of that too, is that you will potentially get your alcohol tolerance back as you move post-menopause there as well. Well, in the meantime, though, what can you do? Well, I'm glad you asked. Thank you. The simple solution is don't drink alcohol. But, it's not an option for everyone. I know you want other options as well, so don't worry. Here's some more. Don't save up your drinks, okay? So you're better off drinking like one glass, a standard glass, not a home pour, a few nights a week versus having an entire bottle on a Friday night. And if you must, then, follow your government's current guidelines on alcohol intake. And I think that's about one standard drink per day for women at the moment, with a few non-alcohol or a few alcohol-free days per week. Making a switch, like taking the wine out, which is higher in histamine, and trying clear spirits can be beneficial. But just make sure, like if you're flow-on effect here, stick to lower sugar options as well. So if your mixer is tonic, then try and choose a lower sugar one, but not one with artificial sweetness, please. Or use plain soda water so that you're not increasing sugar, because that's going to increase or make you feel icky as well and can impact you in terms of flushes, and because it's messing with your blood sugar levels and your insulin, which is going to mess with your how you're feeling as well. So switch out your wine. Or, if you're going to have wine, make it like a spritzer. Put some soda water in it as well, and so it's watered down. Please make sure you have at least a glass of water in between your drinks there as well. I have mentioned stress. I was going to say I have not mentioned stress so far. Here we are, 15 minutes into the podcast. I haven't mentioned it. Here we go. You need to manage your stress for estrogen's sake, your blood glucose, your liver function, and now your histamine load. So you've got lots of reasons to be working on your busyness and what you're doing and what you're saying yes to. Now, vitamin C and high quercetin foods, these will help clear histamine. So red, green and purple veggies, as well as the cruciferous or brassicas like cabbage, kale, cauliflower, radish, rocket, mustard greens, all of those lovely bitter and sulfurous veg. Don't forget your leeks and onions and things like that too, those sulfur-rich ones, because they will support your liver. And fresh fruit, of course, is vitamin C rich and has the quercetin. Apple, every day I tell my clients have an apple a day. There you go, quercetin rich, and it will help you with your alcohol metabolism. B6 rich foods or B6 vitamins. If you're going to have B vitamins, please have them all together. Like, don't have individual ones. It throws your biochemical pathways off. Essential fatty acids, omega-3, flaxseed oil is a great one, olive oil, avocado oil, fish, fatty fish, all those sorts of things. They're essential fatty acids, walnuts, all beautiful sources there. Support your detox pathways so that you can eliminate the alcohol once your liver's done the work. And drinking fresh filtered water daily is the perfect way to do that. And also making sure you use your bowels every day is great too. So you'll want to have lots of fiber-rich foods, and that will help with your gastrointestinal system and your balance. A lot of people think, gut health, I'm going to have fermented foods. And if your histamine load is high, that's like the worst thing for you to do right then. It's going to blow your guts apart. You will be on the toilet, my friend, regretting that decision. So just stick with the prebiotics as such, the fibers. Have your cooked and cooled rice and potatoes, and also those cruciferous veg I mentioned, cabbage, kale, cauliflower, all super high in fiber and really wonderful for providing what your gut microbes really like to thrive on. And some herbal tea. So, we've talked before about switching out some of your caffeine and putting in things like dandelion root tea or chai, and turmeric, ginger, peppermint, nettle tea. Nettle tea is great because it's traditionally used as an antihistamine. So nettle leaf tea is really good for that. You might even have nettles growing in your garden, in the weeds in your garden. Don't kill them. cook them up and eat them. That'd be great if you're feeling a bit flushed and hot and sweaty from your alcohol drink. So yeah, that was my tips there for you. Just to summarize, making sure you switch your wine out, choose those clear spirits and the low sugar options. Don't save your drinks up, don't binge drink. Manage your busyness and your stress. In terms of the foods to eat, we're looking for lots of veggies and fruit, particularly red, green and purple veg. Also, don't forget to have an apple a day for the quercetin, and plenty of fresh filtered water and your herbal teas there as well. One last thing, don't forget to eat before you have the treats, and alcohol falls into the treat section there. Have some protein-rich food before your first sip, always. So if you're going out, have a little baggie of nuts, in like almonds, in your handbag, and just have 5 or 6 of those. Or if there's food and hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that, or there's some cheese on the plate, have something that's protein rich before your first sip. It will help ease the burden on your blood sugar levels and your insulin there, and make you feel much better the next day. So cheers to getting to know your body better and understanding what's going on. And cheers, we've made it to the end of another episode. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me again today. I hope that you found it really enlightening as we've unraveled the secrets around alcohol intolerance, or interpreted those messages that your body is giving you. So we've talked, about from your liver, its priorities, your blood glucose spikes and histamine overload, covered a lot of ground here. And hopefully now that will help you be able to crack the code on why your body is saying no to that beloved drink. So I hope the practical tips that we've finished up with, or the food-based ideas there, will help you support and nourish your body and give it what it needs. So yeah, grab a glass of those low histamine spirits, savour some clear beer, aka water, and herbal teas, and set some boundaries to manage your stress like a boss. Your body will thank you, and before you know it, you'll be enjoying your drink without flushing redder than a beetroot. Now, don't forget to share this episode with a friend who is wondering why they're feeling rotten and hungover after one wine. And until next time, have a wonderful week and stay true to your fabulous alcohol intolerant self. It's really common for women over 40 to experience the chaos of changing hormones, mood, metabolism, and energy. But I hope you know now that common doesn't have to equal normal for you or them. You can help others understand they aren't alone in feeling this way, and that perimenopause doesn't have to be horrific, by subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing this podcast with other women in their 40s and beyond. Thanks so much for listening and sharing your time with me today in this chaos to calm conversation.